Look at the brain science of adolescents, and need to treat children as exactly who they are. Children.
Community leaders who work with Milwaukee youth gathered to condemn the charges a 10-year-old is facing after police say he killed his mother.
Instead of being treated as a boy, is being treated as an adult.
According to a criminal complaint, the boy originally told police he accidentally shot his mom when he was twirling the gun, but the next day, the family called police with serious concerns. They say the boy told his aunt he was actually aiming the gun at his mom. Sylvester Jackson leads Believers for Change, an organization that advocates for ending mass incarceration.
How can a 10-year-old help defend himself?
Jackson believes this is a case of severe mental health and has no business being tried in adult court.
Let's keep this situation in where it needs to be, and that's the juvenile's court. And let's get him mental health.
In Wisconsin, children 10 and older who are charged and convicted of homicide are typically sent to a juvenile detention facility until they are 17. That's when they go to prison for the remainder of their sentence.
This is a first-degree case. This 10-year-old is accused of going into a box that was locked, unlocking it, and getting the gun before confronting his mother, then having an argument about maybe not getting a gift that he wanted, a virtual reality set that he couldn't order from Amazon, waking up too early in the morning, and then shot and killed her. Then lied to police saying it was an accident at first, and now they're saying it was on purpose. And if he's unlocking this box, that's premeditation. So what does our system do with a 10-year-old? A 10-year-old, because first degree in Wisconsin, that's up to 60 years in prison. And as you heard, he's a troubled child. Let's bring back in our think tank Daryl Cohen, Meg Strickler, Lawrence Zimmerman with us. What do we do? What does our system do here, Lawrence? 10 years old. I mean, you put him in the juvie system, he's out at 18. You think the rest of Milwaukee's going to be safe?
Well, it's a very difficult decision, but I could tell you from personal, I actually knew somebody, I was in 5th grade, killed his mother, and then waited till his brother came home and killed his brother. And he went through the juvenile system in Miami, and then when he got, I think, 18, 19, or 20, he was released. He was mentally ill. But apparently he got better, they treated that, and apparently he ended up becoming a successful businessman after all that. So it's a very difficult thing to do. The kid's 10. If they could treat him and help him and monitor him, he's 10. I mean, I think he should have an opportunity at some point to get back to life. He's 10 years old. I know it's difficult. We see school shooters at 16 kill everybody. Right. I mean, where do we draw the line? Because a school shooter kills 20 people, should never be released.
At the age of 10, it's different. I mean, obviously the victim, his mom, is deceased. It's gone. But do you treat him as an adult? My view is you do not. You have to treat him in a way that is punitive, but also gives him the opportunity as he gets older.
But if we treat him as a juvie, isn't he out by the time he hits 18?
Though. That's the whole point of the juvenile justice system, though.
If he's out in 8 years or 9 years, when he becomes an adult, I'm okay with that, provided while he's been incarcerated as a juvenile, he toes the line, hopefully receives the type of mental help that he needs. A 10-year-old is just somehow different than a 16-year-old.
He's not fully developed. His brain's not fully developed. It's a horrible thing. That's the whole reason we created the juvenile justice system.
Premeditation here, it was developed enough to figure out how to get into that locked gun box.
He's 10. I don't think he understood the ramification of his actions. I really don't. He was 10. He's a child. I think there's a lot more hope.
I understand he's a child, but there's a dead mother.
No, there's a lot more hope for him to be rehabilitated. The juvenile justice system takes the time and the effort, much more so than the adult system, to try to help these young kids. Now,
well, this family was trying to help him. They had a therapist. They had cameras in the home because they were afraid of him. Are some people just wired a little differently and maybe a little too dangerous?
Well, they can determine that.
So they're afraid of him, and I get that. What in the world is there a gun?
It's in a locked box.
With a key that he had, whether it was locked or not, there was a key.
Are you blaming the victim right now?
No,
You're blaming the victim.
I'm not blaming the victim. I'm saying the victim should have been more vigilant if he was the person that they believe him to be, that he showed he was. So yes, the victims, we all as possible victims should keep our heads on a swivel. I've got 3 daughters and I tell them all the time, keep your head on a swivel. just physically and mentally. You don't know what's going to happen where you are. Look at people in Atlanta today. There was a shooting at Walmart in a suburban area. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Two gangs got upset with each other. Somebody shot someone and they weren't killed, fortunately. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't give that child an opportunity to have access to a gun, period.
Okay, let me ask you, how comfortable would you be with this 18-year-old being released and moving into the house next to you and your family?
I would be comfortable.
Shouldn't that the test be?
If I knew that they had done what they're supposed to have done, meaning the juvenile justice system, and took different times through the years testing him and seeing how he's behaving. Now, it sounds like this might be a situation that he'll never get better.
What control do they have once he hits the age of majority and ages out of the juvie system if he's dealt with in the juvenile system? When he's no longer a juvenile, you can't hold him anymore.
Well, unfortunately, with mental health in the United States, we're not very good handling mental health issues. But in theory, there should be services out there that put him into a halfway house or something like that are keeping a close eye on him. That's what our system is supposed to do for mentally ill people.
Do you believe in sociopaths? Are they just born or are they made?
Yes.
Both. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it could be both. He could be born that way and also be nurtured that way. But again,
should he be evaluated to find out if he is in fact a sociopath, and should that be in the equation?
Yes, but from 10 years old, 11 years old, and 12 years old, 13 years old, yes.
Did he know when he said it was an accident? Was that the truth?
That was the lie. That was
was
he
it,
knew it was a
or was
lie.
it a lie the next time when he said that
aimed
he's 10 years
the gun
old?
at her.
He's 10 years old. I can aim a
He
gun.
Aimed the gun because he didn't get what
was
he
mad at her.
wanted.
He didn't know he was killing
I mean,
her.
look, obviously I've never killed anybody in my life, but when you're younger and you do a lot of stupid things, you don't realize the consequences of your action. I get it. He should know killing his mother, she's going to die, but obviously his thought process and everything else, there's something wrong. We're not saying this is an easy thing to do, to rehabilitate them and let them live next to Meg's house, which, by the way, they probably can't afford to live in our neighborhood. But besides that, I mean, it's a risk that society has agreed to take because we want people to go through the juvenile, be rehabilitated, and give them a chance to make it. That's it. I mean,
that's the purpose.
And he killed his mother.
Is there a way to treat him as a juvenile but keep some sort of control after he passes on to age 18?
Yes.
Whether it's like conditions, you've got to report here, you've got to report there. And can you hold it over his head that if you get arrested, if you do another violent act, that we punish you for the first person that you killed?
Every state
can't do that, right?
Every state is different. I don't know what the laws are there, but it is probably not possible to keep him under control after he reaches 18. So whatever happens,
that's the
we
problem.
need to make sure that as best we can, as much as we possibly can, that between now and the time he reaches 18, he has been rehabilitated.
And implement social
We're
services.
out of time on this, but we'll continue it. But I think you're all wrong. I think you treat him as an adult, and if you're concerned about 60 years, give him a shorter sentence so at least the court has some control on his life and can keep the rest of us safe. They disagree. What can I say?